In today's recap, a professional thief, Neil McCauley, emerges from a train, disguised as a paramedic, and enters a nearby hospital. He enters one of the ambulances and drives away. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Vincent Hanna, an experienced detective, leaves for work after having sex with his wife, Justine. McCauley, Shirless, Trio, Waingro, and Corrido rob a bank-armored car. They get away with a specific envelope and kill all three guards of the armored car, with Waingro, McCauley and Corrido killing a guard each. However, McCauley is furious at Waingro for shooting the first guard, despite Waingro's claim that the man was attempting to stop them. Hanna and his team arrive at the scene of the heist after McCauley and his team had left and begin investigation. The police did not find any leads, only a big rig and a pickup truck, both of which were reportedly stolen a day before the heist. After accessing the situation, he concludes that the criminals in the heist are absolutely professionals. Nate, a money laundering expert, informs McCauley that the envelope stolen contained hundreds of millions of dollars in bearer bonds from a company owned by a shady businessman named Roger Vincent. Nate again informs McCauley of another job opportunity being offered by Kelso, which will pay at least $10 million. McCauley joined his team at a restaurant to discuss the outcome of the heist. He informs him that Waingro has forfeited his share and briefly beats him. His concern was how the deaths of the three guards will necessitate a more thorough investigation by the police. As they walk out of the restaurant, they notice a police car and watch nervously. However, when the police car suddenly drove away, there was a sigh of relief. When Shirless got home, there arose a heated argument with Charlene, his wife, about the amount of money he brought home from the heist, which is significantly less than Charlene expected. Shirless informs her that he has paid off his bookies. When she questions him about his gambling problem, he storms out of the room in anger. The next morning, Hanna and Drucker raid Albert Torina's, one of Hanna's informants, chop shop. Torina informs Hanna that his brother Richard, who owns a club in Koreatown, might be of help. Hanna then makes his way to the Koreatown club and speaks with Richard, who tells him about Corrido. He immediately contacts his unit to conduct extensive surveillance on everyone Corrido associates with. Elsewhere, McCauley meets with Kelso, whom Nate spoke about, to discuss the potential new heist. McCauley initially dismissed the idea, for the fear of an alarm being raised and quick police response. Nonetheless, when Kelso assured him the alarm system would be disabled, he accepted the job. As he leaves with Nate hands Zent's phone number to him. The next day, McCauley calls Vincent and requests for a meeting to exchange cash for his bond. A few minutes after being put on hold, one of Vincent's bookies calls back to inform McCauley about the outcome of his earlier request. The date, time, and venue of the transaction was agreed. At the date appointed for the transaction, McCauley goes to the venue first. Soon after, the drop man arrives in a pickup truck. McCauley instructs the driver to toss the package into McCauley's front seat with his right hand. Unknown to McCauley, an assassin is waiting for him in the back of the pickup, but before he could pull the trigger, Shirless, who was stationed at the rooftop of the building, notices him and warns McCauley through his headset. Upon realizing this, McCauley reversed and crushed the assassin against the pickup. As the assassin struggles to regain his footing, he fires at McCauley's car, to which McCauley responds with a pistol shot through his windshield. Shirless, with a clear sight at the assassin, shoots him in the back, which spins him around. McCauley then shoots him in the chest, runs his car over him, killing him. After McCauley examines the package and discovers scrap papers, he calls Vincent and threatens to kill him. McCauley sets Hanna and his men up at a shipyard and uses a high-powered camera to photograph them from a vantage point on a cargo crane. When McCauley meets with Nate to pick up the schematics for Kelso's heist, Nate tells him about Hanna and how he has a long and successful track record of apprehending major criminals. Nonetheless, McCauley still decides to go on with the heist. That evening, Hanna stops McCauley for what appears to be a minor traffic infraction. He cordially invites McCauley to join him at a nearby restaurant, where they will both reflect on their personal lives, of which McCauley agreed. During the meeting, Hanna expresses his willingness to kill McCauley if necessary to prevent him from killing an innocent person. McCauley, on the other hand, said if the cops box him in, he will not hesitate to kill. If you're enjoying the video thus far, kindly like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's continue. Trejo calls McCauley and informs him that the cops are after him. McCauley instructs Trejo to head in the opposite direction in order to confuse the cops. Realizing that Trejo is now in danger and could not drive them for the new heist, he approaches Donald Breeden, an ex-convict, and offers to hire him as a getaway driver. Given how much he despises his boss, Breeden accepts McCauley's offer, resigns, and throws his slimy and oppressive boss to the floor on his way out. On the fateful day of Kelso's heist, McCauley, Carrito, and Shearless enter the bank at 11:30 a.m. through different doors to avoid suspicion and dressed in business suits. McCauley and Carrito take up positions at opposite ends of the lobby, while Shearless queues at a teller's desk. At Carrito's cough, McCauley, Shearless, and himself disarm the guards. McCauley then walks to the bank manager, punches him for being uncooperative, and grabs the vault key. He then hands it to Shearless, who unlocks the vault's doors and packs the money into empty gym bags. Shearless, after packing the money into the bags, hands 2 bags to McCauley and keeps one. McCauley in turn hands one of the bags to Carrito, who removes his mask, puts on his shades, and starts to walk out of the banking hall. At the police headquarters, Hanna and his men have headed to the bank after receiving a tip-off of the robbery. When they arrived, McCauley and his team had finished the operation and were exiting the bank. Carrito gets into the car first, followed by McCauley, but before Shearless could also get to the car, Drucker, Casals, Hanna, and Bosco fired at him from different positions. Shearless managed to get a shot at Bosco and killed him. He then enters the car as Breeden sped off. As Breeden drives on, Drucker manages a clean shot into the car and kills Breeden, and as a result, McCauley, Shearless, and Carrito get out of the car and escape, exchanging fire. During the gun battle, Carrito kills a detective called Schwartz. Casals also shoots Shearless in the shoulder. McCauley kills another officer while trying to escape with wounded Shearless, and Hanna also kills Carrito, who tried using a small girl as a shield. McCauley manages to escape with Shearless and takes him to a doctor named Bob, who treats Shearless' wound. After departing from Shearless, he goes to Trejo's house with the intention of murdering him, but meets Trejo almost dying. Trejo then tells McCauley that Waingro and Vincent are to blame and tells McCauley to end his life, who fulfilled his wish. From Trejo's house, McCauley went to Vincent's house to demand the whereabouts of Waingro. However, after Vincent denied any knowledge of it, he shoots and kills him. Shearless, slightly recovered, goes to meet Charlene, who, despite their marital problems, warns him of police presence. He gets back in his car and leaves, but comes dangerously close to being apprehended as he passes through a police checkpoint and gives out a fake ID card. Drucker, however, orders Shearless to be released. Nate arranged for McCauley and Edie, his new girlfriend, to flee the country to New Zealand. On their way to the airport, McCauley learns about Waingro's whereabouts, being a hotel near the airport. McCauley then stops by, breaks into the hotel, shoots and kills Waingro and flees. Meanwhile, Hanna discovers where Waingro stays and heads towards the airport. As he nears the hotel, he notices McCauley coming from the hotel. McCauley, on the other hand, spotted Hanna when he almost got to his car and took to his heels. Hanna then grabs a shotgun from an officer and gives McCauley a hot chase. As McCauley scales the airport's perimeter fence, he runs to a building near one of the airport's runways, and Hanna keenly follows him with the two briefly exchanging fire. McCauley notices that bright runway lights turn on periodically for landing planes, and realizing that Hanna will be temporarily blinded, he makes a move to take him out. However, as McCauley steps out to shoot, Hanna notices McCauley's shadow and shoots first, striking him in the shoulder, and continues with several shots in the chest, falling on laid blocks. As he is on the verge of dying, Hanna then moves to comfort him and takes his hand in his own, knowing he has more in common with McCauley than anyone else. McCauley responds, taking solace in his mortal wounds because he will not have to return to prison. Before McCauley dies, the two men share a final, reflective moment together. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, kindly like, leave a comment below and don't forget to subscribe so you do not miss any video. See you in our next video.